Greetings, everyone. My apologies in advance. A local CB radio guy has chimed in on this recording a few times, creating a mild interference with background radio noise. Ask yourself, what would it look like if I loved, valued, and respected myself? And you could do each one differently. What would it look like if I loved myself? What would it look like if I valued myself? What would it look like if I respect myself? Yep.
Yeah.
And then
the highest act of love to me is when I do what is best and for my highest good.
So you really have to be okay with making some changes that can totally change your life around. And that's key right there. You got to hold them to it. If you set a boundary, then you can't be wishy-washy with your boundary.
And it's not that I don't love that person. It's just I can't do that to me.
Because you love and value and respect yourself.
Yeah.
And you realize that when you're engaged in conversations like that, it brings you down. So then you basically mentally and emotionally abusing yourself if you continuously put yourself in situations like that.
Exactly.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Dr. K Speaks.
We have entered a new dimension in time. We are being called to evolve, transform. Join us.
Right now, what we're going to be talking about is what it means to love, value, and respect yourself. What it means to love, value, and respect yourself. Because a lot of people walk around not loving themselves, not valuing themselves, and not respecting themselves.
Yes.
So we're going to unpack that right now because it's so important that in order for you to get to where you want to go in life, it's going to be important that you love and value and respect yourself. So we're going to break it down so that you'll know what it looks like. So Godis, start unpacking that because you were already starting before we got the video going. I was like, hold it, save it for when I'm rolling. So now we got it going. Unpack it.
Yeah, I was sharing with Dr. Cason, I was sharing with her about how a lot of times people will say to women, you need to love yourself. You need to love yourself. And so, we'll look at that as getting a new hairdo, taking better care of their hair, taking care of their skin, losing weight, buying a new outfit. We look at that as more or less loving ourselves. And that's a part of it.
Right, because that self-care is a part of it.
Yeah, but loving yourself is about how you relate to yourself within yourself, how you talk to yourself. Are you kind and loving to yourself? In other words, if you make a mistake, say if you do something and you judge yourself on it, that's not, and you criticize yourself, that's not loving yourself. Loving yourself is when you're kind and compassionate and you're forgiving to yourself. So you have a positive relationship with yourself.
Yes.
That's loving on you, as if you would love on a friend. If a friend did something, you go, that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes sometimes. That wasn't your intention. So you're going to be compassionate toward that friend. So be a friend to you and have that conversation with yourself. And that would be an act of loving and nurturing yourself. And when you are loving yourself on the inside, that energy, that beauty radiates from outside because you're happy with you. And when people are happy, they glow.
Yes.
They have a glow. If you ever see women, they always smile and they have a twinkle in their eyes. See, like Dr. Cason has right now, right? She's always smiling, always smiling. I've been knowing her for 30 years and she always has a smile.
30 plus?
Well, you wasn't smiling when I first met you because you was in a dark place.
Well, I was smiling still though. I just didn't have light in my eyes.
You didn't have light in your eyes. Yeah, you were smiling. Yeah. But you're right. You didn't have light in your eyes like you do now. And your smile is a lot more, I guess, what's the word for it? It's bigger. It's more,
I don't know, palpable, where you can feel it, taste it,
see it,
experience it.
Yeah. It's a deeper smile. She was just a surface smile, hi, like that. But now it's like, just really like that kind of smile, and so it's just real. It's just real because she's really happy now, and I'm happy to see her transform her inner self. Learning she had to forgive herself for the things, the choices she made that caused the situation for her to be in. So she had to go through forgiveness. She forgave herself. So that was an act of loving yourself.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes, absolutely.
And she gave herself what she needed to elevate herself. She nurtured her spirit, you know, through her meditations, through her relationship with God. She nurtured her spirit, you know, empowered herself, you know, and surrounded herself with people that were empowering and that were doing things in her life.
Yes, positive and productive people.
Yes. So she was able to elevate herself and learn what it means to love self. She also has a higher vision of herself.
Yes.
You know, how you visualize yourself, how you see yourself in your mind. You know, I used to see myself, I'm just fat. I'm just, you know, ugly. And I used to put on clothes and just criticize myself in the mirror all the time. I don't do that no more. Now, there are things that I would like to change about myself if I could, but I don't focus on that. What I focus on is what I love about myself. That's what I focus on, because there's certain things I can't change, but there's certain things that I love.
So what you were talking about is that there are certain things that you would like to change, but then for those things that you can't change, you just learn to accept them.
Accept them. That it is what it is.
Yeah, what is that? I don't know whether it was a poem, but Serenity Prayer. About changing the things that you can change and accepting the things that you can't, and then wisdom and know the difference and all that.
So you make peace with the things you can't change. You know what I'm saying? But I focus on the things that I love about myself. So I'm in love with myself. Okay. You know, and I like that. I'm in love with myself, because when you love yourself, you're going to set boundaries. You're going to respect yourself. Yes. You know, I hold myself in a sacred light.
Now let me share this story. I was talking to one of my patients about valuing herself and loving herself and respecting herself, right? And she was feeling like she was doing all of those things. However, I noticed she's in a toxic relationship, like so many women are, right? And she has a child, right? And so I had asked her the question, if you had a babysitter for your child and you found out that that babysitter was calling your child some negative names, was mentally and emotionally abusive, would you continue to take that child to the babysitter even though you still had to go to work? And she was like, well, no, I would never do that, and so and so that, and so and so that. And I was like, why? Because I love my child and I wouldn't never allow that. Good. And so then I was like, okay, so now you love your child, you value your child, right? And then with yourself, you're in a toxic and unhealthy relationship. You've been in this relationship for almost a year now, right? So now, if you loved and valued and respected yourself, then you would no longer allow yourself to stay in that relationship. And she was like, touche. She got it. She realized it.
Wow, that's powerful. I like that scenario. That's good. You know, because you're going to put yourself in an environment that is nurturing, uplifting, and positive and empowering to you. And I'm very conscientious about that, of who I align myself with, how they treat me. You know, because you have boundaries. You have a vision for yourself and for your life. And you have a motto in which you live your life.
Well, you do, but what about the people who don't? So you're saying basically that's something that's important to do. So if you love and value and respect yourself, then it's important to follow that vision for your life, right? Now, what is that vision for your life? You know what's not the vision, because as you live life long enough, you'll know those things that don't work for you. Yeah. Right? And then, so those things that don't work for you, well, the opposite will more than likely be those things that work for you. Right. So if you just start identifying those things that will work for you, then you can have a model for your life. You can have you can bridge from that, a vision for your life.
Like when I didn't love myself, like women, you know, when I worked, they would sit and talk about people. Well, when I didn't love myself, you know, I would sit there and listen to that. And at one point make a comment or something like that. Now I won't do that, because I value myself. And if I'm uncomfortable in that environment, then I'm going to excuse myself from that environment. That is an act of love of myself, because I'm not going to sit there and feel bad because they're talking about somebody and then the next minute they smile in that person's face. I'm not going to be a part of that. You know, so anything that doesn't feel good to me, I'm not going to be a part of that. If you're a person, you don't respect people and you're not talking to me right, I won't be a part of your life. You cannot be a part of my intimate circle. And that's an act of love for myself.
How did you get there? Because we have a lot of listeners who would like to be in that space of loving and valuing themselves, but they don't love and value themselves.
You know, I'm going to tell you the truth. When I started meditating and God showed me who I was, who he created me to be, that's when everything changed for me. When I saw her, when I saw the woman that I truly was, not the one that the world had created, that my parents had created. You know, this unconfident person who didn't trust themselves, the instincts. I didn't trust my intuition. Like if I felt like something was wrong, I ignored it, you know. But now I don't ignore it because I love myself and I trust myself to protect myself and to guide and provide for me what I needed. God has given me that ability to go like, no, you don't want to deal with that. No, you don't. So the highest act of love to me is when I do what is best and for my highest good.
So you really have to be okay with making some changes that can totally change your life around. Because that could be, you could be walking away from people who you no longer connect with.
Or you can set a boundary, you know. Like I had a girlfriend that was always, you know, saying negative things. And I told her, you know, I'm very conscious about what goes in my ear. And if you want to talk about things in that way that you're talking about them, men, you can't talk. You know, and I love you, but I can't do that to myself. You know, because when I get off the phone, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. And I don't, this conversation is not enlightening. It's not empowering to me. And so I can't participate.
Yes. So then that changed, because you just reminded me of one of my patients. She, like almost every night, she kind of decreased the amount of time she does it now, but almost every night she would talk to a friend of hers who was always negative. And then she would constantly tell me, this woman, when she talks to her, she just feels so down afterwards. And then she has a hard time going to sleep. And I'm like, why are you still talking to her?
Exactly.
Because that's just what she knows. That's her friend. You know?
But you can set boundaries with your friends. Say, well, we can talk about this. Let's talk about that. And if they love you, because they don't know, it's all they know. And it's a reflection of their environment and where they're at in their journey. So you give them an opportunity to do something different. Let's have a different experience.
And guess what?
What?
Because you say if they love you, right? So her friend cares about her, but her brain is wired that way. So that's just eventually where the conversation is going to end up. Right. So then it's like, bottom line, if you recognize that you have some people in your life, and even though you've already set a boundary for them to, like you say, I don't want to delve in conversations like that because I'm on this path now and I'm just trying to like be positive and productive. If their brain is wired towards negativity, they might start out for a minute in alignment, in harmony with this boundary that you set forth, but because their brain is wired for negativity, they are going to end up back in that negative space. And you can just
you have to constantly redirect yourself.
Well, you can constantly redirect them, but that could take a lot of energy and work.
Or either they'll stop calling you, because what has happened with me with some of my friends is that they'll redirect themselves. They'll catch themselves while they're talking to me. Oh, I can't talk about that. Then what happens is they call you less and less because they already know. Because I'm gonna hold you to that. What I said, I meant. We're not talking about that.
And that's key right there. You gotta hold them to it. If you set a boundary, then you can't be wishy-washy with your boundary.
And it's not that I don't love that person. It's just I can't do that to me.
Because you love and value and respect yourself.
Yeah.
And you realize that when you're engaged in conversations like that, it brings you down. So then you basically mentally and emotionally abusing yourself if you continuously put yourself in situations like that.
Exactly. And so that's loving myself. It's because I'm going to take care of myself emotionally, mentally, and physically.
Yes. So now we started out talking about the physicality, you know, the self-care, taking care of your hair, your nails, your this, your that. That's the physical self. Now you just stepped into also loving and valuing and respecting yourself mentally and emotionally. You know, I don't even know if you say it spiritually.
Yes,
that's a part of it as well. Yes.
But I wanted to share also, when I first started designing, I used to take women who were pretty and put them on stage. You know, I didn't see them model. I just thought because they're pretty, you know, they're going to look good in this garment, and all they got to do is walk and turn, right? And so I'm at the show, and there's this designer who became like a mentor of mine. You know, he told me I was dressing a model. He said, I want you to come and with me because I want to show you something. And I said, I can't. I got to dress a model. He said, no, I need you to stop what you're doing, and I need you to come with me. And he took me to the front row of the show, and he said, I want you to watch my models. And he had models that weren't necessarily physically beautiful women, but when they were modeling on stage, you saw a beauty, a light within them that was just like, oh my God, this woman is beautiful.
Oh, wow.
You seen the beauty in her just radiate from the stage, and how confident and how powerful she was. And I was like, wow, your models are good. And then my models came out. Yeah. And I saw models who were physically beautiful, but inside they were snubbing the audience. Their body language and their attitude was like, you know, I know I'm the stuff. Yeah, look at me and stuff. Oh my God, I was just like horrified. And he looked at me and he said, every nice looking woman does not a model make. He said a woman has to have something from the inside that radiates out. He said, find you some good models.
Wow.
Yes. You know, and I'm working with, you know, Carmen and Carmelita, and they're beautiful.
Yes.
They're beautiful. I love these women. They're giving. They have a giving spirit. They have a nurturing spirit. They care about people. You know, they're just beautiful, you know, from the inside and out.
Absolutely.
And when you look at a lot of these women on TV who know how to fix themselves up and look physically beautiful, as they begin to talk and act out, you know, you see the ugliness come to the surface. And a lot of men are seeing that, and they're complaining about that. You know, they want women. They said, I'll take an average looking woman that is nurturing and kind and empowering. And so a lot of these women have issues, and they need to do shadow work. They need to rewire their brain. They need to learn to love themselves and heal from the things that have happened in their life. And that's a big part of it, is healing too, is a part of self-love.
Yes.
So if you really, really love yourself, then you're going to take care of yourself. You know.
And if you don't love yourself, then you can come to learn yourself. You can do affirmations, and your affirmations can be each and every day. I love myself more and more and more. You can set that affirmation up to show up on your cell phone 3 times a day. It could be in the morning before you go to work, and then again on your lunch break, and then again after you're off work. I got my affirmations set up to do just that. You know, they come on 3 times a day, or it says affirmations time, I think, with my little music melody, and it comes on, and I know to do my affirmations. So when you do your affirmations with that repetition over and over and over and over again, then it wires your brain to do whatever it is that your affirmation is. So if your affirmation is each and every day, I love myself more and more and more, each and every day, I value or respect myself more and more and more, then what's going to happen is that's going to get wired into your brain. And then the more you say that stuff, you're going to be aware of those times when you're not loving and valuing yourself. Because if you're focusing on loving and valuing and respecting yourself from your affirmations on a regular basis, then it's going to stand out when you start thinking or doing some things that are not a reflection of you loving and valuing and respecting yourself. So that's a big part of change. And then also visualizing, you know, loving, valuing, and respecting yourself. Ask yourself, what would it look like if I loved, valued, and respected myself? And you could do each one differently. What would it look like if I love myself? What would it look like if I value myself? What would it look like if I respect myself? And then you can also do a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being, you know, me really, really loving myself, and what does that look like? Or me really, really valuing myself or respecting myself. And then 1 being on the opposite end of the spectrum where you're not doing it. And for each of those things, for each of those, the love, the respect, the valuing yourself, rate yourself on where you are now. If you're at a 4, that's okay, because you're identifying where you are, right? Or if you're a 5, that's okay. It doesn't matter. All you need to do is identify where you are, and then ask yourself, what do I need to do to get myself from a 4 to a 5, or from a 3 to a 4, or from a 6 to a 7? Because you don't have to make a quantum leap and jump all the way to 10, because most of the time that's not happening anyway. You want to just like take a baby step.
Yeah.
So then you need to identify where you are on that scale of 1 to 10. And then identify, first of all, what your 10 even looks like. Right? And we gave some ideas here. Godis gave some ideas here of what it looks like to love and value and respect yourself. Right? So identify where you are. Identify what you need to do or how you need to think to get you to your next level up. And then practice it with repetition on a regular basis, because repetition is the key, because repetition is how you rewire your brain, reprogram your brain, which is all about changing your habits. You can't change your habit by just doing something 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. You're going to change that habit in the same way that you created the habit in the first place, with repetition of doing it over and over and over again, or thinking about it over and over and over again.
Yeah. Mary J. Blige has a record out that says, "Good morning, beautiful." That's like a affirmation. Good morning, beautiful.
Okay.
To look in the mirror and say, "Good morning, beautiful."
Looking in the mirror.
And then what's her name? India Ari. She has a song, "I Am Light."
I am light.
I am light. I am light. You know, just beautiful light. Yeah.
Yep. So practice your affirmations. They really do work. Godis and I have been doing affirmations for well over 30 years, and they've transformed our lives.
Yes.
You know, visualizations, vision boards. We haven't even talked about that, but vision boards is another thing.
Right.
Because the vision board is basically your billboard. Like, you drive around, there's billboards all around. Those billboards are programming your brain to purchase products from a certain company so that they can make a lot of money, or just go in the direction of whatever it is that they're advertising. But because you drive by it and you see it in your peripheral vision over and over and over again, because you continue that same path on a regular basis, that is programming your brain.
It's like the computer. We have programs for our computers, and our computers do things based upon how it's programmed. So when we want the computer to do something different, we got to add a new program. And so the computers were modeled after us. So we have a motherboard, which is our brain.
Yes.
And so it's been programmed by the world, by society,
by parents,
to think a certain way. So we operate, like Dr. Cason says, from that programming.
Yes.
So if we want to have a new experience in life, then we have to program our own brain to have a different experience of life.
Absolutely.
Of self. And of self.
And I've showed it in other videos. I got the book and the workbook to help you to reprogram, to rewire your brain. The book is entitled, "I Rewired My Brain, My Journey to Freedom," and it's available on Amazon. And the workbook is entitled, "I'm Rewiring My Brain, My Journey to Freedom."
Yes.
And this book and this workbook together is like the template that will help you to be able to rewire your brain. It gives you the step-by-step process, because a lot of people learn as a result of going through a process.
Right.
Listening to videos are wonderful because you gain more and more information. But to have a structured step-by-step process.
You have to do the work. You have to be willing to do the work.
Yeah, you got to be
It's going to take work.
Absolutely.
Change it's going to take work.
Absolutely.
Some work. Yes.
I did it. You did it.
Yeah.
A whole lot of people did it. And it took our lives to a whole nother level.
Yeah. People want the world to change, but change starts with us. And as we change, we impact the people around us, because people see, you know, my daughter has changed as a result of my change. You know, she has her own relationship with God, and she's reading books and she's growing. And I've inspired other women to do the same, because they see the shift in my energy and they see the peace that I have as I move through life, and the joy that I have just in little things in life. It doesn't have to be something big. I can find joy in little things. The sun came up today. Wow, look at that, man. Or look at that flower, you know. It puts you in a whole different mindset when you choose peace and you choose love and you just choose to enjoy life and to be grateful for everything.
That's another part of loving, valuing, and respecting yourself, because we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. You know, and as a trait of that spiritual being that we are, it's all about love and peace and harmony.
Yeah.
So when you start tapping into those things that God has just mentioned, then that's all about loving and valuing and respecting yourself, your spiritual self, the essence of who you are. Because this right here, this is the earth suit.
Right.
Right. And we take this off and we step out of it when it's time.
That's
you
right.
know, and we go.
Right.
Or some of us know how to do it already with remote viewing, astral traveling.
Yes.
You know, where you leave the body behind and that consciousness goes off and experiences other things.
Yeah.
So this is not who we truly are, but it's our earth suit and we came here. So you got to do your self-care. So you got to make sure it gets sleep, make sure it gets some good food.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got to clean it up and all that other kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. But like,
it's your vehicle.
Yeah, it's the vehicle. Right?
Yeah.
But we are the entity, the energy inside this vehicle.
Yes. Yes.
So it's important to love, value, and respect.
And we're
all of that.
And that's what the journey is about. It's about evolution. And that's what our talks are about. It's about elevation and evolution of the mind, the body, and the spirit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for watching.
Yes.
Always remember that it is very important to love, value, and respect yourself. This is vital if you want to get to where you want to go in your life. Loving yourself takes place on the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual realms of human experience. What does it look like to love yourself? Loving yourself is about how you relate to yourself. Mentally and emotionally, it is about the inner dialogue that you have with yourself. For example, being kind, loving, compassionate, and forgiving with yourself are examples of loving yourself, as opposed to being negative, judgmental, and unforgiving of yourself. Loving yourself also includes physical self-care, like taking care of your physical body and your physical appearance. For example, engaging in healthier eating habits, getting rest, drinking water, or the extras like getting your hair done or making sure that your clothing is in harmony with what is presentable to you. On the spiritual level, loving yourself is about nurturing your spirit. For example, through prayer, meditation, and establishing a close relationship with the Creator. What does it look like to value and respect yourself? Valuing yourself is to know that you are an aspect of infinite awareness created in the image and likeness of the Creator. To value yourself could look like you not allowing yourself to maintain a position in a situation where you are being abused in any way. Valuing yourself is about putting yourself in an environment that is positive, empowering, and nurturing. Valuing yourself is also about honoring who you are. What does it look like to respect yourself? Respecting yourself is about staying true to who you are, setting and maintaining boundaries with yourself and others, and making peace with the things you cannot change about yourself are also in harmony with respecting yourself. The acts of loving, valuing, and respecting yourself are interchangeable, each one flowing into the other. As you move forward in life, from time to time, do a self-assessment to see where you are on a scale of 1 to 10 as it relates to loving yourself, valuing yourself, and respecting yourself. Remember, wherever you are on that scale, identify and implement what you need to do to get yourself to your next level up. Check out Godis's pocket-sized book entitled The Book of Wisdom. It's a 40-page powerful book of affirmations that will assist you on your journey. Order by email at godis@yahoo.com. That's GODDESSGODIS @yahoo.com. Also, my book and workbook are available on Amazon. This powerful duo will help you to reprogram your brain to bring you what you want in life. My book is entitled, I Rewired My Brain, My Journey to Freedom. And the workbook is entitled, I'm Rewiring My Brain, My Journey to Freedom. Thank you for listening. And if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe so that you can be aware of all of the videos that I've already posted and ones that I will continue to post on how to become the highest version of yourself.